Keep your cool. Keep your cool. They're here. Keep your cool. Keep your cool.
I'm super excited. This is fucking
Play
so
it
badass.
cool.
Buckle up, because this ride through Swiftie-land has it all. First up, insiders reveal Taylor once thought about ditching music altogether during that infamous feud with Kim K. Yup, the snake-pocalypse nearly ended the fairy tale. And then, Karma made a guest appearance when NFL player Gardner-Johnson, who mocked and body-shamed Taylor, got cut from the Texans. Cue Swiftie celebrations. Next, flashback to a teenage Taylor scoring her big break thanks to Eric Church's too-long set, and later cheekily handed him her first gold record plaque.
This is going to really be great for you, and you owe me your first gold record.
Moving forward, Taylor keeps fans spinning with yet another vinyl edition of The Life of a Showgirl, then levels up her accessory game with a Versace watch before Elizabeth Taylor's estate drops an orange crewneck straight into Swiftie carts. Taylor Swift, queen of catchy breakup anthems and Easter eggs hidden in song lyrics, almost threw in the towel on her music career. Yup, the girl who basically runs the charts right now once thought about piecing out completely, and it all goes back to that 2016 feud with Kim Kardashian. You remember, right? The snake tweet that practically broke the internet? Suddenly, Taylor wasn't just the girl next door with a guitar anymore. She was public enemy number one, with memes and snake emojis slithering across every comment section like it was feeding time at the zoo. Insiders spill that the fallout was brutal. Taylor wasn't just getting dragged online, she was getting death threats. Her reputation tanked faster than a one-star Uber rating, and she honestly thought there was no comeback from that level of chaos. Some people even joke that she could have cured every disease on Earth, and it still wouldn't have stopped the internet from calling her a snake. Rough crowd, right? Sources say she pulled back from the spotlight hard, going into what fans now call her disappearing act era. And apparently, that's the closest she ever came to just ditching music completely. Imagine if she had. No Lover, no folklore, no record-breaking stadium tours. The pop universe would look very different and way less sparkly. The wild part is, this new documentary airing soon digs into exactly how bad it got. Fans, industry pros, and the Swifties who lived through the snake-pocalypse all weigh in on how Taylor went from almost quitting to completely flipping the narrative. One minute she's being roasted alive online, the next she's reinventing herself and turning her downfall into fuel for the biggest comeback of the decade. One minute Taylor's clawing her way back from the snake-pocalypse, and the next her fans are throwing a victory party of their own after Gardner-Johnson got the boot from the Texans. Yup, the same guy who once thought it was a genius idea to wear that sweatshirt at the Eagles Super Bowl parade, the one basically trashing Swifties in the crudest way possible, is now unemployed, and Swifties are treating it like the season finale they've been waiting for. Insiders say his Houston run was shorter than a TikTok trend, with defensive blunders piling up faster than snake emojis back in 2016. 3 games into the season, and the Texans showed him the door. Swifties immediately swarmed social media, basically declaring it karma in action, with posts reminding everyone of his little Swifties can licks my balls fashion disaster. Like, dude, that was never couture. And remember, he wasn't just shading Taylor in that sweatshirt moment. He also decided to poke fun at Travis Kelce, suggesting he should have stuck with his ex. That little dig veered into body-shaming Taylor, which only cranked up the Swiftie rage meter. Big mistake. Huge. It's almost like he forgot Swifties don't just stream music, they take names, keep receipts, and never ever let things slide. When news of his release dropped, fans wasted zero time posting memes about life coming at you fast, sharing side-by-sides of him celebrating the Super Bowl and now scrambling to find his next gig. Some even quoted Taylor's whole trash takes itself out mantra, which suddenly felt like prophecy. And the irony? Houston gave up a first-round pick to snag him from Philly, fresh off his Super Bowl glory days. Fast forward to now, and he's handing touchdowns to opponents like they're party favors. Even the Texans coach couldn't hide that the defense looked like a group project gone wrong. Nobody communicating, everybody blaming someone else, and Gardner-Johnson stuck in the middle of it. And speaking of karma, let's rewind the clock to 2006, when Taylor wasn't the stadium-dominating superstar yet, but just a 16-year-old with a guitar and a debut single about Tim McGraw. Back then, Eric Church was the guy opening for Rascal Flatts on their Me and My Gang tour. Until he wasn't. Apparently his sets ran a little too long, a little too loud, and suddenly he found himself uninvited from the party. Who slid into that opening spot? Yep, Taylor. Talk about one person's oops becoming another person's rocket launch. Church later joked about the whole ordeal, saying it was kind of brutal finding out he'd been swapped online. Imagine scrolling and realizing your gig just got hijacked by a teenager with cowboy boots. But Taylor, being Taylor, actually called him up right after, all sweet and polite, to make sure there were no hard feelings. He teased her that she owed him her first gold record if she blew up on that tour.
This is going to really be great for you. And you owe me your first gold record.
Fast forward literally a week, gold record. This girl doesn't just manifest, she delivers on Amazon Prime speed. And Taylor? She didn't just send him the plaque, she inscribed it with a cheeky little jab, thanking him for playing too long and too loud on the Flats tour. Classic Swift sass even back then. That plaque ended up so iconic, it now lives in the Country Music Hall of Fame instead of Eric's living room. Imagine having bragging rights over Taylor's first gold record, but not even being allowed to keep it on your own wall because the museum claimed it. What's hilarious is how this whole thing has aged. Back then, Church thought he was getting the short end of the stick, but in hindsight, he accidentally handed Taylor the exact stage she needed to blow up. It's basically the most country music way possible of saying, thanks for my career boost.
When this happened, right?
I love you, man.
And so here's what's crazy. It took like 7 days, we were at a festival. We were on the same bill. Probably not 30 days later, and she walks up on the bus, and she, at the first gold record of her career, she walks up and she she inscribed it to Eric. Thanks for playing too long and too loud on the tour.
Yes.
Sincerely. Sincere.
And speaking of career boosts, Taylor isn't just sitting back and reminiscing, she's cranking the hype machine into overdrive with yet another shiny vinyl drop. Because apparently there's no such thing as too many versions when you're Taylor Swift. This time it's called The Crowd Is Your King edition of her upcoming album, The Life of a Showgirl, and it's dropping exclusively at Target. Yes, Target. The place you go for toothpaste and somehow leave with a cart full of candles, snacks, and now a pink shimmer vinyl that looks like it was dipped in cotton candy and sprinkled with fairy dust. She teased the announcement on Instagram, hitting us with the line that a showgirl saves her best tricks for the grand finale. Translation? Swifties, open your wallets again because she's about to own October. The vinyl itself? A summertime spritz pink shimmer masterpiece with gold sparkles, basically engineered to make collectors lose their minds. And of course, it comes bundled with extras because Taylor doesn't do plain. We're talking a 24x36 poster big enough to wallpaper your dorm, collectible sleeves full of lyrics and unseen photos, plus a whole poem penned by Taylor herself. At this point, it's less album and more museum exhibit in a box.
The vinyls, they each have a poem inside of them, a unique poem. They've got like more images than we ever planned to put in there. We chose this really high gloss finish, which I've never done before, and I think it looks so cool. I think, we wanted this album to feel like really luxurious, and kind of as a nod to the luxury that a showgirl puts on when she's on stage. Meanwhile, like in the quick change room, she's like, maybe that's just me, I don't know.
Target is so ready for the Swiftie storm that nearly 500 stores will open at midnight just so fans can grab the record in person. Imagine standing in line with strangers at 11:59 p.m., only to realize you all share the same mission, fight for vinyl like it's the Hunger Games. And this isn't even the only edition. She's already dropped others with names like Shiny Bug, Tiny Bubbles in Champagne, and Baby That Show Business. Honestly, it sounds less like an album rollout and more like a cocktail menu, and Swifties are drunk on it. And just when Swifties are still trying to figure out how many versions of that glittery vinyl they actually need, Taylor steps out casually flexing a whole new accessory situation. And no, it's not another bedazzled mic or sparkly bodysuit. It's a watch. But not just any watch, because Taylor doesn't do basic. For years, she's been rocking this yellow gold Cartier Santos Demoiselle that basically screamed old money chic. She wore it everywhere from album reveals to those perfectly staged engagement photos with Travis, and of course the internet made it sell out faster than concert tickets. But now, she's ditched the heirloom vibes and gone full Versace with the Hera watch. Picture it, gold-plated case, bold as hell, black calfskin strap, and a 3D Medusa face smack in the middle like it's daring you to blink. It's flashy, it's dramatic, it's giving showgirl but make it punctual, and the kicker? It doesn't require selling your kidney on eBay. At just under $1,000, it's basically Taylor saying, "Here, peasants, I bring you fashion you can actually afford before resale prices triple." Insiders say it's the perfect fit for her whole life of a showgirl vibe, which is basically opulence turned up to 11. Sequins, feathers, chandeliers, and now a wrist accessory that looks like it should come with its own spotlight. It's bigger than her Cartier too, 37mm versus the dainty little demoiselle, so clearly Taylor's leaning into the go big or go home mantra. And you already know what's next. Swifties are about to turn this watch into the hottest thing since friendship bracelets. It's sitting at $747.50 right now, but if history's taught us anything, the second Taylor puts her stamp on something, resale prices skyrocket like it's Beanie Babies in the 90s. And while Swifties are still busy panic refreshing Saks to snag that Medusa-faced wrist candy before resale prices hit mortgage payment levels, another surprise drops into their shopping carts, this time courtesy of Elizabeth Taylor's estate. Yup, the Hollywood legend herself is now part of the Showgirl merch circus. Since Taylor's upcoming album features a track literally named Elizabeth Taylor, her estate clearly said, "Say less," and rolled out a bright orange crewneck that looks like it belongs both at a football tailgate and a film premiere. The sweatshirt is vintage varsity chic. Think bold collegiate lettering slapped across a rich orange shade that screams, "Limited edition, buy me now or regret it forever." At $65, it's practically the budget-friendly sibling of that Versace watch, which means Swifties can actually afford this one without faking a side hustle. Insiders point out it's also a nod to Taylor's longtime admiration for the actress, who she once cheekily referenced with that Burton to my Taylor line. Basically, this collab is Swift's way of merging old-school Hollywood glamour with her own sparkly chaos. That's all for this video, folks. We'll see you next time.